Most important thing is that when she gets home, to make sure that we're eating properly and that we have everything set up in the cage. So I would go ahead and just leave her in the carrier for right now, go through and get the cage set up, get the food in place, get the water ready, whatever. What are you using as bedding? Do we know what they've got planned for that?
No.
Are they going to just use newspaper?
Newspaper is what we
perfect.
usually have.
That'll work. Because that'll give you an indication of what she's eating and how much. Because
Right.
that'll go through and you can look at the newspaper. So, but we go through,
So you go in here, the bird
and
on
these
top.
are the pelleted
So you
foods
look
that
at the
she's
last
on.
name.
Now her favorite right
be
now
whatever
is
the
the
last
rowdy
name
bush,
is.
so that's probably what she's going to be picking out the most.
Okay, she
But what we usually do is mix them
Yeah,
together.
it's a dog.
So we mix them all together, and then I put on here 5 to 6 tablespoons. You may have to adjust that a little bit if she runs out. Like for example, if she runs out of the rowdy bush completely, maybe add some more in.
Okay.
She doesn't know just how much does it
So,
weigh.
and then we go through and leave that in there pretty much available to them all the
Always
time.
get the phone
Okay.
number.
Then we do fresh fruits and vegetables in the morning times.
Which are?
Broccoli, cauliflower, sweet potatoes, carrots, squashes, pretty much anything you can think of. About the only things you don't want to feed are avocados, mushrooms, and onions, and then anything that's salty or deep fried or any of the lovely stuff that we like. So. And then celery and iceberg lettuce are nutritionally useless. There's not a whole lot
Yeah,
of nutrient
okay.
value, so we just avoid those. But any of the like papayas, mangoes, any of those sort of things are perfectly fine. The other thing that we do is the cookable foods. And I usually cook these ahead of time, put them in ice cube trays, and then keep them frozen, and then just pop out an ice cube and stick it in the microwave. You do have to make sure it's not hot, because they will eat it when it's too hot for them. But we do this or the fresh fruits and vegetables. I know one of her favorites right now is apples.
Oh,
Just, you know, we just slice up apples and she munches on that. We avoid the cores just because the seeds can sometimes contain toxins in them, so we just avoid those altogether. But they should get something in the morning time first thing. Here we usually do it around 9 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know what your guys' schedule is like, but that's what you're looking at. And anything that's fresh or cooked shouldn't be in the cage for more than a couple of hours because we don't want bacteria growing in places. So. And then we also have the vitamins, which these should be given once a week on the soft food. And I prefer doing it on the cookable mixtures because you can mix it in and it stays mixed. Sometimes if you do it on fresh fruits and things, it kind of lays on the top of it. And if you have a bird like mine, they'll go and wash it off in the water dish. I actually have one that does that. She'll figure out there's vitamins on there and go run over to the water dish and just dunk it real quick. I'm like,
Really?
little tard. So, yeah, she can be a little bit of a pain sometimes. But there's a little scoop in here,
Okay.
and we're talking like a couple of these once a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of an arbitrary on the amount since it's mostly to cover our bases rather than actually, you know,
Right.
anything else.
Okay.
So, okay, that does the basics on that. Then we have the Nutriberries as treats. And these is one of those things that you can give her, like if she's sitting out on her perch, you can give it to her every now and then. I wouldn't do more than a couple a day, though, just because you don't want her, you know, filling out on this and not anything else.
Okay.
Then, once a week, usually on Sundays, instead of doing the pellets, we do the seeds. So, and with the seeds, you are going to be doing a bit more, just simply because the seed holes are going to be there, so there's going to be a bit more waste. So I would say probably more like 7 or 8 tablespoons of this. And she's going to make a mess, so just be prepared for the fact that you're going to have to clean that. It's just one of those things. All right. We bathe them every morning. Mist bottle in plain warm water and just mist them down. You can soak them. It's not going to hurt them any. And she'll scream and do her little temper tantrum thing, and that's perfectly fine. Some people even get shower purchase that you can suction cup into the shower, which we do have them, and then, you know, just bathe them in the shower so you don't have the mess all over the cage in the living room. You may decide in the long term that that's better. Be very, very careful with any sort of fumes around the house, cleaning agents, Teflon pans, Glade plugins, all of those sort of things can be toxic to them.
Okay.
So you want to avoid those. Same thing with candles and fireplaces. And especially during, like, we're getting towards the winter time here slowly but surely again. So during Christmas and things like that, we see a lot of issues with people having candles going and having the fireplaces on, and they just don't think about the fact that they have to burn in the house. So you have to be really, really careful.
That's good
with
to
that.
know.
So, If you can avoid it, that's that's our recommendation. But if if you have stuff like that, candles that are soy based, for example, and if you want the aroma type things, make sure it's 100% natural essence oils. You don't want any of the artificial stuff. The other thing is they do need to get 10 to 12 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And the best thing there would be to make sure that you have an area that they can go into at nighttime. And that's where that smaller cage might come in handy, because you can have the bigger cage out in the living room,
Right.
and then have the smaller one like in an office or a spare bedroom that you can go into at
Yeah,
nighttime.
she has her own room.
Okay, perfect. And that's pretty much the basics.
Perfect.
Anything else that you can think of that you have questions about at this point?
Not me.
Okay.